They say you don't have to see a woman's face to know if she feels good about herself. Just look at her hair. It's one of the first things people notice. And more importantly, it's one of the first things we notice about ourselves when we look in the mirror. But after 50, hair starts to shift. Maybe it's a little thinner than it used to be. Maybe the shine is gone, or the grays are growing in faster than we expected. And in the process of trying to fix it, many women unintentionally make changes that do more harm than good. The good news is, your hair might change, but your style, confidence, and grace can grow stronger than ever. The truth about hair after 50. Here's what many women don't realize. Your hair isn't just aging, it's evolving. Hormonal changes, stress, health shifts, and years of styling all start to show up in the strands. And that's perfectly natural. But what's not natural is feeling like your only option is to hide it. Too often, women reach for drastic solutions, harsh dyes, outdated cuts, or heavy styling that end up aging them more, not less. And it's not their fault. We weren't taught how to care for maturing hair. But today, that changes. In this video, we'll explore 8 of the most common hair mistakes women over 50 make. And more importantly, how to move forward with hair that feels healthy, looks modern, and expresses exactly who you are at any age. Because confidence doesn't come from covering up. It comes from embracing yourself fully, roots and all. 1. Coloring hair too dark. When coverage backfires. Let's talk about a hair habit that many women fall into without even realizing it. Coloring your hair too dark. Now, we totally get why it happens. Gray hairs start peeking through, and the first instinct is to grab a box of black or deep brown dye and cover it all up. It feels like control. It feels like going back to you. But sometimes, it does the opposite. Diane, 58, from Ohio, knows this story all too well. For years, she kept her hair a glossy jet black. She'd been dyeing it that way since her early 40s, and it became part of her signature look. But as she entered her late 50s, her daughter pulled her aside one afternoon and said gently, "Mom, the black makes you look older, and honestly, a little harsh." It wasn't meant to hurt, but it hit home. Diane looked in the mirror with new eyes. The deep black was starting to create a sharp contrast with her changing skin tone. It made the fine lines more visible, and the overall effect felt heavier. So she made a change. She went to her stylist and asked for something warmer, softer, a chestnut brown with a few golden highlights around the face. Nothing drastic, just enough to brighten her features. The result? People kept saying I looked well rested, even happy, Diane shared. No one even mentioned the gray, but they all noticed the glow. And that's the real issue with going too dark. Super dark shades can actually age your appearance. They pull attention to lines and shadows on the face. They flatten the natural dimension of your hair. And while they might cover the gray, they often hide your light in the process. So what can you do instead? Try softer browns like golden chestnut or caramel, a rich dark blonde with honey undertones, or even just a few face-framing highlights to bring warmth and life back to your features. You don't have to give up coloring altogether. You just need to shift the tone from hiding to enhancing. And remember, your hair color should complement the person you are now, not try to rewind to someone you were 20 years ago. Because true beauty isn't about covering up your age. It's about choosing colors and styles that celebrate where you are and where you're going. So before you reach for that box of black dye again, take a pause. Ask yourself, is this color helping me shine? Or is it hiding me? And if you're not sure, try something softer. You might be surprised just how vibrant, fresh, and confident it makes you feel. 2. Cutting it too short. Just for convenience, when less isn't always more. Let's be honest, when we reach a certain age, the idea of a wash-and-go haircut sounds tempting, doesn't it? No fuss, no hours in front of the mirror. Just short, simple, and done. But here's the thing. Convenience shouldn't come at the cost of confidence. Linda, 62, from Texas, thought she was doing the right thing. Her friends had all cut their hair short, and her stylist suggested a pixie cut for easy upkeep. It sounded like a good idea. No more blow drying, no more layers to manage. So she went for it. But the moment she saw herself in the mirror, something felt off. "It didn't feel like me," she said. "I didn't look softer or freer. I looked tougher, sharper, almost like I lost part of my femininity." And the truth is, she didn't regret the short length. She regretted the shape. After a few months, Linda returned to the salon, this time with a different request. Something with movement, softness, and a little more length around the jawline. Her stylist gave her a layered bob that curved gently with her face. And just like that, she felt like herself again. "I didn't realize how much my haircut was affecting the way I felt about myself until it changed." Here's the lesson. Short hair can be beautiful, elegant, even empowering. But it has to suit you. Not just your age, not just your schedule, but your face shape, bone structure, and personal style. Too many women over 50 cut their hair short thinking it's the only age-appropriate option. Or that longer hair is too much to maintain. But truthfully, a harsh, boxy cut can age you more than a few gray strands ever will. So, if you're thinking of going short, here's what to keep in mind. Choose styles with layers and soft edges, not sharp lines. Avoid cuts that are too blunt, especially around the jaw or ears. Add side-swept bangs or gentle curves to frame the face. And most importantly, work with a stylist who understands your energy and femininity, not just your age. Linda's bob didn't just change her hairstyle, it changed her energy. She smiled more. She dressed up again. She felt seen. Because your hair should never make you feel less. It should feel like an extension of the woman you are today. Strong, graceful, and still evolving. So if you're considering a cut just to make life easier, ask yourself first, does this style make me feel like myself? Or like I've disappeared? There's nothing wrong with going short, just don't go small. 3. Using harsh shampoos. You've had since your 30s, when habit hurts more than it helps. We all have those products we've stuck with for years. A favorite lipstick, a perfume, or in this case, a shampoo that's been sitting in your shower since your 30s. But here's the truth. Your hair in your 50s is not the same as it was in your 30s, and it deserves different care. Carol, 55, from Michigan, learned this the hard way. For over 2 decades, she used the same strong dandruff shampoo. It worked well when she was younger, controlled oil, kept flakes away, and gave her that squeaky clean feeling. But as the years went on, something started to change. "My scalp became tight and itchy," Carol said. "Then the hair started thinning. I didn't know if it was hormones or stress, but it just kept getting worse." At first, she blamed aging. Maybe this was just a part of the process. But then her daughter suggested something simple. Change the shampoo. Carol swapped out her old bottle for a gentle, sulfate-free shampoo with biotin and natural oils. No strong fragrances. No harsh detergents. Within a few weeks, she noticed a difference. "My scalp calmed down. The itching stopped, and new baby hairs started coming in around my hairline. I didn't realize how much damage I was doing, just by using something too strong for where I am now." Here's the lesson. Your scalp ages too. Just like your skin gets thinner and drier, so does the scalp. And the hair that grows from it, it becomes more fragile, more prone to breakage, and more in need of gentle care. Many women unknowingly make the mistake of using shampoos that contain sulfates, which strip natural oils, are full of alcohol, which dries out both hair and scalp, or are designed for oily, youthful scalps, not mature, sensitive ones. Over time, these formulas can lead to dryness and flaking, itching and irritation, thinning, breakage, and even hair loss. But it doesn't have to be that way. If you're over 50, here's what to look for instead: sulfate-free or mild cleansing shampoos. Ingredients like biotin, keratin, collagen, or natural oils, like argan, jojoba, or coconut. Products labeled for mature, thinning, or dry hair. And always avoid anything that leaves your scalp feeling tight or squeaky. Clean doesn't have to mean stripped. Carol's hair didn't just grow back. Her confidence did too. I feel like I finally gave my hair permission to age, but in a healthy, graceful way. And that's the key. Aging gracefully doesn't mean doing less. It means doing better, with care and attention to what your body is asking for. So if you're still using the same shampoo from decades ago, it might be time to say goodbye. Because sometimes what helped you then might be hurting you now, and you deserve better. 4. Overusing hot tools. When styling starts to steal your shine. We all love that finished look. Smooth curls, polished ends, a little volume at the roots. And for years, many of us relied on curling irons, flat irons, and blow dryers to help us feel pulled together. But here's the hard truth. What worked in your 30s and 40s may be doing real damage in your 50s and beyond. Just ask Emily, 60, from Florida. For most of her life, she was known for her bouncy curls and perfect blowouts. Her bathroom counter was lined with tools, straighteners, curling wands, heated brushes, and she used them almost every day. "It felt like part of my routine," Emily said. "I thought if I can control my hair, I can control the day." But after 2 years of daily heat styling, something changed. Her hair began breaking, first around the temples, then the crown. It lost its shine. The texture turned rough. It stopped bouncing back. Eventually, it became so thin and brittle, Emily made a decision she never thought she'd have to make. "I wore a wig to my son's wedding. I didn't feel like me, I just felt fried." And she's not alone. As we age, our hair naturally loses collagen, moisture, and elasticity. The strands become more delicate. What used to bounce back now breaks. And high heat, especially without protection, speeds up that damage. The problem isn't using hot tools. It's overusing them or using them without adapting to what your hair needs now. Here's what heat does to mature hair. Weakens the cuticle, causing split ends and breakage, dries out already fragile strands, makes thinning more visible, and creates damage that often becomes permanent. But the good news is, you don't have to give up heat altogether. You just need to use it smarter. Here's how. Limit heat styling to 2-3 times per week, max. Always use a heat protectant spray before styling. Let your hair air dry partially before finishing with a blow dryer. Use lower heat settings. Your hair doesn't need 400 degrees. And give your hair days off. Tie it back softly or let its natural texture shine. Emily eventually restored her hair. But it took time, patience, and a complete shift in routine. She now embraces her natural wave and only styles with heat for special occasions. "I stopped forcing my hair to be something it's not," she says. "And now it actually looks better than before." And that's the beauty of aging. It teaches us that less is often more, especially when it comes to preserving what we have. So if your styling routine hasn't changed in 20 years, it might be time to ask, is my hair surviving it? Or suffering from it? Give your hair the same grace you give the rest of your body. Treat it gently, let it rest, and watch it thank you with softness, shine, and strength. 5. Ignoring scalp health. Why beautiful hair starts at the roots. When most women think about caring for their hair, they reach for the ends first. The split ends, the dry ends, the tangles and frizz. We slather on conditioners, serums, and leave-in creams, all focused on what we see. But what if the real issue starts at the part we can't see? Barbara, 67, from Colorado, knows what that feels like. She had been investing in all the right products: deep conditioners, hydrating masks, salon-grade treatments. And yet every time she brushed her hair, the shedding was getting worse. "It was so frustrating," she said. "I was doing everything right and still losing hair by the handful." Then a friend mentioned something simple. "Have you done anything for your scalp?" Barbara hadn't. Like many women, she had focused only on her strands and completely overlooked the source: the scalp. She started slow. Just once a week, she warmed a bit of rosemary oil between her palms and massaged it gently into her scalp for a few minutes. She also switched to a scalp exfoliating brush and used a mild scrub once a week to clear buildup. Within 2 months, something amazing happened. "I saw baby hairs growing in around my forehead. My hair felt thicker, not just at the ends, but from the roots. And here's the science. As we age, scalp circulation slows, oil production decreases, and buildup from styling products or dead skin cells can clog follicles, suffocating new growth before it even begins. It doesn't matter how luxurious your conditioner is. If your scalp is unhealthy, your hair won't thrive. Here's what you can do to give your roots what they need. Exfoliate your scalp gently once a week to remove buildup and stimulate blood flow. Massage with natural oils like rosemary, argan, or peppermint. These promote circulation and nourish the follicles. Avoid overwashing, which strips away the scalp's natural oils. And make sure your shampoo is gentle and free of harsh ingredients like sulfates or alcohol. It doesn't take hours or a salon visit. Just 5 minutes of intentional care a week can help wake up your roots and your confidence. Barbara says this shift changed more than her hair. "I felt like I was finally tending to the part of me I'd ignored, the foundation. It's easy to forget the base when you're only looking at the surface. But now she knows. Healthy hair begins where it grows, not where it ends. So if you've been focusing only on the tips, maybe it's time to go a little deeper. Your roots are waiting for some attention, and they just might surprise you." 6. Keeping the same haircut for decades. When comfort starts to hold you back. There's something comforting about a familiar look, a ponytail you can do with your eyes closed, a part that's always sat in the same place, a haircut that's worked for years. So why change it now? But what if that familiar style is doing the opposite of what you want it to? That's exactly what happened to Sharon, 59, from California. For 20 years, she wore the same low ponytail, day in, day out. It was practical, easy, and fit her lifestyle. She was a busy mom, then a full-time worker, and she didn't have time to think about her hair. "I didn't hate it," Sharon said. "But I didn't love it either. It was just there." One day, while at her regular trim appointment, her stylist gently suggested something different. "Let's try some curtain bangs and a few soft layers," she said. "Nothing drastic. Just a little movement." Sharon was hesitant. She hadn't done bangs since her 30s. But something inside her said, "Why not?" The result? "People at work kept saying I looked rested. Someone asked if I'd been on vacation," Sharon laughed. "I hadn't done anything except change my hair." And that's the quiet truth. Keeping the same haircut for decades may feel comfortable, but it can quietly date your whole appearance. As your face matures, so should your hair. What framed your face beautifully at 35 might now draw attention to features you'd rather soften. Even the texture of your hair changes over time, meaning the style that once worked might not flatter you the same way now. The good news? You don't need a drastic makeover. A few small updates, some gentle layers, face framing bangs, or shifting the part can lift your look, your features, and your confidence. Here's why refreshing your style matters. It brings movement and softness to aging facial features, helps balance changes in skin tone, structure, and expression, signals that you're present and evolving, not stuck in the past, and sometimes gives you the little spark you didn't know you needed. If you're not sure where to start, talk to a stylist you trust. Show them a photo of your current style and ask, is there a small change we could make that fits who I am today? Try curtain bangs to soften the forehead and draw attention to the eyes, layers that add lift and volume. A different part, side or middle, to reset how your hair frames your face, or even changing the length by an inch or two to give new energy. Sharon says that small shift didn't just update her look, it updated how she felt walking into a room. It wasn't about looking younger, it was about looking alive again. So if you've been wearing the same cut for 10, 15, or even 20 years, this might be the moment to try something new. Not because you have to, but because you deserve to see yourself in a fresh light. The light you're already shining from the inside. 7. Focusing only on products. When beautiful hair starts from within, it's easy to think that the secret to healthy hair lies in a bottle, a fancy serum, an expensive mask, a miracle conditioner that promises shine, growth, and fullness. But here's the truth. No label tells you. Your hair health starts long before the shampoo hits your scalp. Just ask Nancy, 61, from New York. For years, Nancy did everything she thought she was supposed to do. She bought salon-quality products. She deep conditioned every week. She avoided heat and slept on a silk pillowcase. But still, her hair kept thinning. I was doing all the right things and getting worse results, she said. Frustrated, she finally visited her doctor. After a few tests, the answer surprised her. Her body was lacking key nutrients, the ones that feed healthy hair growth from the inside. Her doctor recommended a few simple shifts. Add more leafy greens, salmon, and eggs to her meals. Take a biotin supplement and a multivitamin rich in zinc and iron. And most importantly, give it time. 3 months later, Nancy's hair wasn't just stronger. It felt like it was coming back to life. I stopped obsessing over products and started paying attention to what I was eating. And that's when everything changed. Here's what many women forget. Your hair is made of protein. Your scalp needs circulation. Your follicles depend on nutrients. No serum in the world can replace what's missing from your diet. Especially after 50, your body goes through changes, hormonally, metabolically, and nutritionally. Iron levels may drop, vitamin D may dip, and stress or medications can affect how well your body absorbs what it needs. That's why hair care has to be inside out. Here are the key nutrients your hair truly craves. Protein to build the hair structure itself. Omega-3 fatty acids found in fish, walnuts, flaxseed to support scalp hydration. Iron to help red blood cells carry oxygen to your follicles. Zinc to repair tissue and regulate oil glands. Biotin and B vitamins to support growth and prevent breakage. If you're not sure where to start, consider a balanced plate at every meal, colorful veggies, healthy fats, lean protein, drinking more water to support cell hydration, and asking your doctor if a hair-focused supplement is right for you. Nancy still uses her favorite conditioner, but now she knows it's just part of the puzzle. Hair isn't just about what you put on it. It's about what you feed it. Once I started nourishing my whole body, my hair followed. So the next time your strands feel thin, dry, or slow to grow, look beyond the bottle, because what you see in the mirror is often a reflection of how you're treating yourself from the inside. Healthy hair doesn't just come from good products. It comes from good care, rooted deep within you. 8. Hiding gray hair out of embarrassment. When confidence shines brighter than color. For many women, the first silver strand feels like a quiet alarm. It peeks through at the part or near the temples, and suddenly, the panic begins. Do I need to dye it right away? Will I look old? Will people notice? For Lisa, 65, from Oregon, that panic turned into a cycle. Every 3 weeks, without fail, she colored her roots. She avoided the pool, skipped last-minute weekend trips, and canceled plans if she hadn't touched up. I wasn't coloring my hair for fun anymore, she said. I was coloring out of fear, of being judged, of being invisible. But over time, something inside her shifted. She was tired of chasing a version of herself she no longer recognized. And she started to wonder, what if I stopped hiding and started honoring the woman I've become? With the help of a stylist, Lisa made a plan. They slowly transitioned her color to blend the grays. They toned her hair to a cool, elegant silver, gave her a fresh cut, and added movement and shape. The result? People started calling me bold, elegant, timeless, she smiled. For the first time, I wasn't hiding. I was standing tall. Here's the takeaway. Gray hair doesn't make you look old, but how you wear it can. What actually ages us is not the color itself, but dryness, frizz, harsh cuts, or dull tones. Whether you decide to embrace the gray or continue coloring with confidence, the key is this. Keep your hair intentional, well cared for, well styled, well loved. If you're thinking of going gray, here are a few ways to make it a celebration, not a surrender. Work with a stylist to gradually blend and tone the color. Use purple shampoos to keep silver shades bright, not brassy. Choose modern cuts that frame your face and add movement. And keep the hair moisturized and trimmed, so it always feels fresh, not forgotten. If you'd rather keep coloring, that's beautiful too. Just don't do it from a place of shame. Choose colors that soften, enhance, and make you feel radiant. Lisa says the biggest shift wasn't on her head. It was in her heart. I stopped hiding who I was, and the freedom I felt, it showed up in my posture, my smile, even my wardrobe. Because here's what we forget. Gray is not the enemy, shame is. And there's nothing more powerful than a woman who wears her truth, whether it's silver, blonde, auburn, or anything in between. So whatever you decide, let it be a reflection of your pride, not your fear. Your hair doesn't define your beauty. You do. Let's be clear. You don't need to look young. What you deserve is to look and feel like the best version of yourself. One who's confident, radiant, and fully at home in her own skin and her own hair. Your hair may silver, soften, or change with time. But your spirit, your energy, and your beauty, those only get deeper, stronger, and more powerful with age. If you've recognized yourself in one of these 8 hair mistakes, don't feel bad. This isn't about judgment. It's about awareness, adjustment, and self-celebration. Because it's never too late to shift your routine, to try a softer color, to give your scalp some love, to put down the flat iron, or finally embrace the silver strands you've earned. You deserve a hair routine that matches the woman you are today, not the one you were 20 years ago. So here's your moment. Take a deep breath. Look in the mirror and ask, what small change can I make today to feel more like me? Then share it. Comment below and let us know. What hair habit are you ready to change? Your story might be the one that helps another woman feel seen, understood, and inspired to try something new. Because aging isn't something to hide. It's something to honor with grace, style, and yes, fabulous hair.